Hi, and welcome to today's episode of Get Your Fix. Today we are going to do a tutorial based on a very recent coaching session of mine. What do you do in such a situation when you're transitioning from another country into the UK? What do you do when your own style is very different of that of a leader? What do you do to be able to build rapport with people in this country? Sometimes, when we join a new organization, especially when we are moving countries, there is an eagerness in us for us to make the right impression, to be able to contribute effectively, to hit the ground running. And these are all natural and most welcome. But sometimes it is a challenge because everything is new and we are trying to adjust into a new environment. And also, it might be complicated, as it was in my case, where your personal style might be very different from that of your line manager or your leader. So, what do you do? Here are top two tips that work when you're coming into the United Kingdom. The first, build personal rapport. Find time, whether it's over a coffee, whether it's over lunch, whether it is in your one to one, and get to know who the person is. And when you do that, approach it with a sense of curiosity. Where did the person come from? What are his or her cultural background? What got them to this job? What do they love about this job? What are their dreams and aspirations about this role? What troubles them? What excites them? Approach it with a sense of curiosity as you would if you met someone in a party and you wanted to genuinely know a little bit more about them. On the other side, also share a little bit about you. Now, in my client's case, she was a little shy and therefore she was not very willing to share a lot of details. That's fine. You do not have to share your innermost secrets, but you certainly can share a little bit more about your journey. It could be your professional journey, what excites you at work, what you don't like, what have you been your challenges, what are the things that you do outside work. Reveal a little bit about yourself because that helps you build bridges and build collections with the persons at a personal level, and that's always helpful in the workplace. The second thing that works well in the United Kingdom is to seek advice. Yes, the word is advice. Don't necessarily ask for clarity. You could, don't get me wrong. That's always a very good thing to ask for, which is to clarify and to get clarity. But the word that really helps out is to ask advice, is to seek advice. Take the help of your line manager and your peers to settle into your new role. It's a win win situation. They get a chance to be able to share their experience and expertise to support you, and you, on the other hand, get a chance to integrate into the system. So, really, building personal rapport and seeking advice. These are two great techniques to be able to connect with people with different working styles and different backgrounds. So, the first thing is for you to be able to be super aware that when you're transitioning into a new country, it is a personal and professional disruption, which means things will feel more chaotic. Things will feel more uncomfortable because you're basically moving out of your comfort zone. And hence, you need to be able to do two things. One, play to your strengths. Be very, very aware about what your natural abilities are and play your strengths to the hilt. In this case, my client had an amazing sense of humor. And secondly, she had a lot of stories. She had moved from the East Coast to the West Coast of the United States and had loads of stories. Now, guess what? In the United Kingdom, two things work really well: storytelling and a sense of humor. So she was able to use that and could use that to her advantage when she's transitioning into this country. She had other natural abilities and strengths at the workplace. In her case, it was execution skills, as I mentioned earlier. And that's something which is so important for countries today, especially for the United Kingdom, where companies are trying to expand and grow big, and execution becomes the number one ability. So, therefore, she really had some strengths that she needed to be aware of and to play them to the most. The second thing to be aware of when you're going through disruption and transition of any kind is self care. We don't realize that mentally, physically, and perhaps sometimes spiritually as well, because of the cultural differences, we are bombarded at different levels when we move countries. And therefore, it becomes super important for you to make sure that you're doing a few things for self care. Now, self care can have different meanings for different people, but make sure they include two things. One, physical health. Make sure you're comfortable, you're sleeping well, and you're eating well. The second, have a support system. Have people that you're speaking with, whether they be your friends, whether they are professional coaches, or whether there are peers within the organization that you trust. Speak with them regular and use them as your sounding board. Last but not the least, give yourself a bit of a pep talk. Transitioning into any country is difficult. And therefore, when you're going through that kind of a disruption, you need to believe in yourself. I mean, let's face it. If you came into this country and got a new job, it's probably because you're very good at what you were doing, and also because you wanted the challenge of moving into a new country and working. Well, it can be a challenge, both of it, but you're worth it and you know that you're good at it. So be confident and trust yourself because over a period of time, you will be a success if you remember to play to your strengths, do a bit of self care, be gentle with yourself during a time of transition, and build personal rapport and seek advice. I wish you the very best.